Hi grade 4s, welcome back to running our own lawn mowing business. Today we are starting to get some bookings. It's so exciting. We are going to get to start to make some money now. Let's work through task 3 together. As always, if you haven't tried it on your own, go and give it a try. I believe in you. I know you can do this all by yourself. Come back if you get stuck or you want to check your answers. Let's get started. So we've been advertising and now the bookings are coming in. Our business is getting off to a great start. During the first week, we get 15 phone calls about our lawn mowing services. 1/3 of those people make an appointment with you. Write a division equation to show how many people made appointments. So grade 4s, we haven't actually talked about fractions, and 1/3 is a fraction, written usually like this, 1/3. And we haven't talked about them, but the cool thing is that fractions and division are very, very linked. They're in order to get a fraction, you do division. So a fraction is just like a part of a whole. So in this case, we're saying that 15 phone calls is our whole, and we want to find out how many 1/3 is. So I'm actually going to draw 15 dots to kind of illustrate this. And I'm going to kind of put them in groups of 5 because I think that makes the most sense for our brains to see them. So you can see I have 5, 10, 15. And then I have 3 groups. So this part here, right, that I just drew the line beside, this represents 1/3 of our whole, okay? So if we were to write this as a division sentence, what did I just do? I took 15 phone calls, my dividend, I divided them into 3 equal groups because I knew that I had 1/3, and 1/3 is 3 groups. 15 divided by 3, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each group. 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. We have 5 appointments. This question might have been one that you needed to follow along with, and that's totally okay, especially because we have not really talked about fractions yet. So great job, guys. Let's move on to this nice looking chart here. So it says that some people want their lawn mowed once a week, others need it only done once or twice over the whole summer. And now that we've got our bookings, we made a graph to show how many lawns you'll be mowing each week. We want to figure out your estimated fuel expense and revenue for each week. Remember, expense is what you spend, revenue is what you make, okay? So it looks like in week 1, we mow 3. I'm actually just going to write the number because I find it easier than looking at the tally. So in week 1, we mow 3 lawns, 5 lawns, 2 lawns, 4, 1, and 2. Okay, and we know that it costs $5 a lawn and we make $20 a lawn. So what do we need to do here, guys? What do we need to do? Division, multiplication, addition, subtraction? If you guessed multiplication, you are absolutely right. So we are going to show our work like always, because that's what's most important, is that I can see what you are thinking. And we're going to go through this. So this is one you can definitely do on your own. So please, 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 please pause the video and come back to check your work, okay? See if you did it right. So let's start with week 1. And we're just actually going to do all the fuel expenses and then all of the revenue at once. But you can also work across or horizontally if you would rather. So I'm going to do 5 times 3. $5 times our 3 lawns equals $15. Notice I put the dollar sign so we know that it's not potatoes. The next one is the same. 5 times 3 is equal to $15. Trying to line up my 10s and 1s columns as well. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. We'll do that one again. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. Make sure I line up that ones column. And then 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So that's how much I made, or how much I spent, sorry, each week on gas. So $15 and then another 15, then 25. Week 7, I really didn't spend a lot of money because I only mowed one lawn. We're going to do the same thing with our revenue. So this time, we're going to multiply 20 times by the number of lawns. So 20 times 3, 20 times 3, 20 times 5, 20 times 2, 20 times 4, 20 times 4, 20 times 1, and 20 times 2. Let's go through and answer those questions. 60, 60, 100. I'm gonna make sure you line up those tens and ones columns, because who knows, maybe we have to add this all up at the end. I don't know. 20 times 2 is 40, 80, 80, 20, and 40. All right, so there are my answers, and I'm just going to highlight this whole table because this whole section is the answers for those of you who are just here to check your answers. All right, really good job, grade 4s. I'm sure that you were successful at this and were able to work in this chart, so good job. Let's move on to the next question. As usual, pause the video, give it a try. You got this. So it's asking, what is the total fuel expense for the 8 weeks? What's the total revenue for the 8 weeks? And then what is the total profit for the 8 weeks? So let's think about that. What do I need to do? Here is all of my fuel expense, and here is all my revenue. I'm going to have to add all of this up, aren't I? Oh my goodness. I'm going to change my pen color so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm actually going to do it right on the page. I'm just going to start adding as I go down. You can use a scrap piece of paper if you want to, or whatever strategy works best for you. So I know 15 plus 15 is 30, plus that, 55, 65, 85, 105, 110, 120. So I added those all up. Basically, as I went down, I just added the next row. So $120 is my total fuel expense. We're going to do the same thing with our revenue. We're going to add up all of these. So 60 and 60 is 120, plus 100 is 220, plus 40 is 260. I'm actually not going to add 80 right away. I'm going to just circle this 260 so I don't forget about it. 80 and 80 is 160. 160 plus 20 is 180. Plus 40 is 220. Oops. And then I have to add 260 and 220 together. I'm just going to write that down here. Equals $480. So if you did not do this as fast as me, that totally makes sense. You may have had to write it in sections, or you may have had to break it apart, and that totally makes sense. But our answer is 480, okay? I'm going to highlight those two answers, 120, 480. Next it asks, though, is how much money did we make? Our revenue minus our expenses. So we know that our total revenue is $480. And then we would need to take away the money that we spent to find out how much we actually made. So 480 take away 120 equals $360. All right, rock stars, we did it. This one didn't actually have very much division, just in that first question. It's actually a lot more multiplication and addition, and this is something that if you were running your own lawn mowing business or any type of business, you would have to do, even when you make a budget as like with your allowance. You're going to have to figure out how much you're spending and how much you're making, and then be able to multiply and add all of that together. So this is really, really good practice for that. I hope this video helped you, and I will see you tomorrow for task 4.